I love Celestians. I am very much known in the 40k community as being the person that screams about Celestians. Well, do I ever have something to say about Celestian models and maybe some other big leaks? These are going to be some cool Celestian models when we get them. There is a shoulder cloak over one of the shoulders. There are hip shield armor bits, I don't know the technical name. There is a fancier backpack than what regular Battle Sisters get. And this Celestian squad is kitted out to counter psychers. The theme is, if you are a witch, you are going to have a very bad day. Expect anti-psyker rules. Probably also precision, but if not that, infiltrate. These are infiltrating Celestians. It would be weird if they couldn't infiltrate, but we know the Space Marine Lieutenant has precision shots that don't give precision, they give lethal hits. So words don't mean anything to Games Workshop. But we should have the anti-psyker keyword on the melee weapons and on the Condemner bolt guns. Too bad for those 1,000 Suns and their complete range of models. I mean, come on. Aside from rubric marines instead of legionaries, there isn't that much need for divergence compared to regular Chaos Space Marines. Yes, I do enjoy poking the Psychic 1,000 Suns players. But fine, have your Ushapti with guns and Age of Sigmar Zangors. 1,000 Suns will probably end up as Codex Tzeentch, and Codex Tzeentch is Codex Magic, and Magic is heresy for the null mauls to smash. I expect that this will be a squad of 10. Within the kill team game, you can have a kill team of 9 Celestians. You often get more models in the box than can be fielded in the kill team game, so you have some options for your force. Hopefully they're fielded in 40k in a squad of 5, so that 5 of the models can be used as character models. So there are 7 different types, at least in kill team, 7 different types, not including the superior. Much like the Novitiates in 40k, they may be grouped together as more, this is a generic sister kind of thing. There were standard autoguns, couple of flamers. There were then Novitiate melee weapons to cover the mauls, the whips, and the swords. But there may be a little more going on. I expect there will be 2 different melee profiles and the basic close combat weapon, as well as 3 or 4 different types of pistols. Going through them, the first one is a superior, who can either have a null maul, relic bolt pistol, relic condemner bolter, or an inferno pistol and null maul. That looks to be the only basic bolt pistol, but there could be others for the other sisters. Relic bolt pistols sound cool. And I would like to see one actual Condemner bolt gun. Although this is where someone tells me that in Spanish, reliquia doesn't actually mean relic. But surely it does. Seems a pretty standard choice for a superior. Condemner bolt gun or Inferno pistol. The Mortis Sanctus type of sister is one with a blessed blade. Cool looking pose. This is a good Palatine model. It looks more like a Palatine to me than the actual Palatine, who is sort of half jogging forward firing a plasma pistol. A weapon not in the Holy Trinity. So this looks better. The Abjadora has a blessed blade and a shield. That seems like a better version than just the blade, or does the shield sister come with a slightly worse pistol, like a basic bolt pistol, whereas the Mortis Sanctus has a relic bolt pistol? Ooh, don't know. Abjadora means like recant sister. Looks like a good canoness. Very cool. Especially if you want your canoness to lead, say, Celestian Sacrosanct with shields. Now she fits in a lot more. The basic combat sister in the Celestian kill team / squad has a null maul and a condemner bolt pistol. That is fancy. That is a smaller condemner bolt pistol that will definitely not fit in a hip holster. For the profile of maybe both, expect devastating wounds and anti-psyker 2+. Unless the null maul is very much like the Sacrosanct maul, in which case expect lethal hits. The Incineradora is a hand flamer version of that basic sister. I am going to keep using the Spanish name because we don't yet know what mess of Latin and English Games Workshop will use. This is Dora. Incineradora. Dora the Explorer grew up and is now Dora the Infiltrating Celestian. I think that's the reference I want to go for. I think that's the reference most people will get. I get a very different response if I say, "Hey, Adora." Yeah, we'll stick with Dora the Explorer. We've already done Big Sword Lady. It's a basic Celestian with Null Maul and a hand flamer instead of the Condemner bolt pistol. The Relicaria is your Simulacrum, and this sister has a Condemner bolt pistol. The Denuncia has a Staff of Declamation. If you didn't have a Dialogus model, you do now. The Censora is a sister with a Vara, which translates as stick. That could mean maul, that could mean censor stick. Potential to pass as a Dogmata. You don't know what the rules will be like for them in 11th edition, and by the time these models come out, 11th edition will be a lot closer. Maybe much like the Novitiates, it could be, we have a Simulacrum, but we want one other thing as well. Here is a censor stick, for the Novitiates, have a Blessed Banner. Nice looking models. Just from looking at them from the images we can see, I can't tell where bodies are doubled up. So there may be not a lot of bodies doubled up, with a lot of them unique, or there may be more doubled up, but I can't quite tell. Like there will be 2 basic ones with Condemner bolt pistols in the maul, and 2 with Null Maul and Hand Flamer. I like the heads, and I do like the fencing cloak shoulder piece, which is sort of what you get from the 17th century fencers. I don't know exactly how it worked in fencing, but it looks fancy, it looks elite, it does the job. And when you can make so many character models, the Dialogus, the Palatine, the Canoness, please do that. I recommend making characters from kill teams. At like £25 per model, a box of characters is relatively way cheaper. I did that same thing with my Novitiates. Okay, so what's the bad side? If the models are good, if we can make characters from them, if killing witches is a good thing, which of course it is, what's the drawbacks? These are not Celestians with guns. Maybe guns will be an option. They usually have been for the basic troop type, like with the Novitiate kill team, which these Sacrosancts replace, sort of, in kill team. There were basic Novitiates with either auto guns or an auto pistol and basic melee weapon. But the regular basic as bog standard as you can get Celestian looks to be a sister with a null mace and a Condemner bolt pistol. So having Celestians with bolt guns and other ranged weapons back looks unlikely. This is disappointing. For me. I wanted a unit of Celestians with all combi flamers or all Condemner bolt guns and a superior with a Blessed Blade and Relic bolt pistol. That would have been way cooler and would look like a unit of elites as they are all armed like the sister superiors or better. A problem with these Infiltrating Celestians is similar to the problem with having the Sanctifiers. The Sanctifiers came along and we already have a unit that scouts with flamers, Dominions. With the Celestians having mauls and pistols, well, we already have Celestians with mauls and pistols. The only difference is fewer shields on the unit and a slightly better pistol as a trade-off, a Condemner bolt pistol. We have Celestians with mauls. I could take an unbuilt Sacrosanct box and not attach the shields, and there you go, a near-identical unit. A superior with an Inferno pistol and a maul, another sister with a maul and a hand flamer, 3 more sisters with maul and bolt-ish pistol. Close enough. Perfect WYSIWYG is a privilege for people with money. Oh yeah, why are Novitiates sort of being replaced? Well, with kill teams, in the game Kill Team, there are classified kill teams, which means they are suitable for tournaments. It's basically if you are not classified, you are legends. It's just that the term goes on the tournament ones rather than the non-tournament ones. At a certain point, they will not be considered suitable for Games Workshop run tournaments, but non-Games Workshop tournaments or any other game, you could use Novitiates if everyone's fine with it, which they should be. The Novitiate box should still be available to buy for 40k. He said before then checking the Games Workshop website to find a 404, Novitiates not found. Why would that be? Oh, is it because they're being removed from the classified section of Kill Team, so they're not going to be sold anymore because they are a Kill Team and not something that has an upgrade sprue? So, I suppose we can, unless fixed, expect either a standalone Novitiate box, that's fine, that's good, let's have that. None of the Kill Team cards included. Or Novitiates end up in 40k Legends, and the Celestian Infiltrators in some way or another replace them. That would really suck for 40k. And to move a unit into Legends, which was only introduced near the end of 9th edition, seems a bit odd. Oh, your unit only lasts in tournament play for 1 edition. Well, aren't you glad you bought it? And converted it into characters, of course. Perhaps Games Workshop's article coming out tomorrow will explain things a bit more. So will I be buying these Celestians? As a unit, they get a 4 out of 5, an 8 out of 10. They could have been better. They could have filled a better role within the army. But if we have precision, if we have anti-psyker stuff, that can work. But it's not an insta-buy. Especially not in a big multi-unit kill team set. And they come with Raptors. And possibly more. I have been less willing to buy lots of models from Games Workshop recently. I'll explain why in the next video. Perhaps in a year's time, when they've been released, when the hype has died down, when the models have a standalone box, and once we see what they can do in 11th edition, which is due to be released this time next year, like July-ish 2026, then I will consider it. The other big leak is the Catan shard of the Nightbringer model has been confirmed by Games Workshop, and they have shown it off on their Instagram page. You know, it looks nice. It's got a naked foot for people who love that naked foot aesthetic, and a big scythe, so we have the Grim Reaper part of the Nightbringer. We can expect a Deceiver model to go with them. That would be reasonable. But Games Workshop doesn't always do what seems reasonable. Perhaps this is the Deceiver in disguise. Or perhaps the Nightbringer won't be revamped at the same time as the Deceiver Catan shard. So the Celestians will be with Raptors in a new big box. I think the Nightbringer will also be in that big box. Let's call this Hunting in Shadows Kill Team box. So we have the Raptors, we have the Celestians, and the Nightbringer? That is 3 different factions. That sounds weird, doesn't it? But let me explain why I believe this. Kill Team now has NPOs, a sort of game setting, where non-player operatives exist, so you can run 2 kill teams against a 3rd non-player faction. Players versus enemy mode. In Kill Team Typhon, there were Raveners, and Admech Servitors, and Hormigans to be used as NPOs. Tomb World has Necron Warriors as NPOs, the idea being you can run 2 Deathwatch kill teams, each of 5 men, and then take on the Geomancer, his little friends, and some Necron Warriors. They're all weaker because they are NPCs. This kill team box, Shadow Hunter, Hunting in Shadows, that could do something different and have the extra models that are of a 3rd faction. 2 kill teams are teaming up to take down a big bad, or in this box, in this case, 2 teams are racing to destroy/capture the Catan shard. That is why there are 2 forces here that don't usually fight Necrons. Why are there anti-Psyker sisters fighting one of the factions known to not have Psykers? And from the look of it, there potentially could be some Necron Warriors in the box as well, as we see Necron Warriors, the Catan shard, and the Raptors and the Celestians. That could be kind of fun. We've seen the new Raptors as well, but fewer people in my audience will care about that. It looks like a unit of 5 with 5 different poses, but 1 possessed Raptor. They may have doubled up on that twice, or there may be some alternative. Not every Chaos Legion likes possessed, but some can treat it the way the Blood Angels treat the Black Rage. Send them into battle to die. They were weird and got possessed, either deliberately or accidentally. But death will cure them. In a way. If you missed it, this is the video where I first talked about the leaks, and it goes a bit more into what Celestians are, and how a new kill team will affect the Adeptus Sororitas rules. My darlings and viewers, have a great day of 40k.